Today I will be demonstrating how to field strip, oil, and reassemble a Glock 17 Gen 4 9mm pistol. When picking up your pistol for the first time and the gun is laying down, you want to make sure your fingers do not go inside of the trigger guard, which is located right here. When picking up the gun, you want your fingers to be gripped firmly around the grip and your index finger to be above the trigger, so that way you don't accidentally discharge the pistol. Once you have the gun in your hand and your fingers are firmly wrapped around the grip, you want to take your hand on the top of the slide where the serrations are located on the back of the gun. With your index finger and your thumb, you want to pull back while keeping a firm grip on the pistol grip. Once you do this, the magazine is located inside the pistol and the slide, which is right here, stays locked automatically. Now next you want to depress the magazine release, which is located here, with your thumb. If you're right-handed, you'll use your right thumb. If you're left-handed, you can use your left thumb or index finger. Once you depress the magazine release, the magazine will drop out of the pistol. You will then pull it out and set it aside because you will not need it at this time. Then you want to safety check the gun, looking inside the chamber located here and down into the barrel located here. You want to make sure that there's no bullets or ammunition on the table while working on your gun. To get this slide to come off of the pistol, you will then use your index finger on the rear serrations on the left side of the gun and your thumb on the other side of the gun, firmly pulling back while applying pressure on the frame of the gun forward. The slide will now be engaged and the gun will now look like this. Now with the gun pointed in a safe direction, as you can see, the trigger is reset. So you will pull the trigger and wait for you to click. The trigger is now located to the rear of the gun. Once this is complete, you will use your hand and place it on the weapon as such, with the meat part of your hand inside the groove here, and then wrap your hand around the gun so your index finger is firmly pressing against the rear sight located right here as a little upside down staple. You will then pull back approximately 1/10 of an inch, so there's a small gap right here in front of the gun. Next, you will pinch the slide lock levers, which is located on the left and the right side of the gun, as you can see here. Once you pull back 1/10 of an inch, you will use your index finger and your thumb to pull down on the slide lock and allow the slide to be released off the top of the gun. And then you will push it forward as such to separate the two pieces. This is called your receiver. This is called your slide. Next, you will take the slide upside down with your index and thumb finger holding on the rear part of the slide. You will then locate the end of the recoil spring. With your index finger on the front of the recoil spring on the front of the barrel, the recoil spring is located right here. You will put your index finger here and you will place your thumb on the back side of the recoil spring. You will gently apply some pressure and pull the spring out of the slide. Once that's out, you will set that aside. Next, you have your barrel. Your barrel is located inside the slide and also comes out the front of the barrel. With the recoil spring assembly removed, you will then gently push up with your index finger on the top of the slide and press up and remove the barrel from the slide. This gun is now successfully field stripped. So you have your slide, your barrel, your recoil spring, and your pistol frame. When lubricating the gun, you will take some gun lubricant such as this. I purchased this at a sporting goods store for about $5 or $6. Any kind of gun oil will do. And what you want to do is start with your receiver and all of the metal components, which is here and here. You can lubricate these as such, one drop on each side, And then on the trigger assembly itself, which is located inside the gun, there's a notch where I'm pointing. You will drop 1 drop of oil onto that notch. Once that is complete, you will then take the barrel and you will apply 1 drop on the barrel and use your finger and rub it all the way around the barrel. Once that is complete, you will drop 1 more drop inside this notch on the barrel and rub it in with your finger as you can get it in there. The recoil spring and the slide itself do not need to be lubricated at all. When reassembling the Glock pistol, you will then grab your slide with your left hand and flip it upside down. You are now holding the slide with your index finger and your thumb on the serrated parts of the rear of the slide. With that in one hand, you will take your recoil spring and you will take your barrel and insert it into the slide the same way that you took it out. The notches will be facing upwards. You put it in at an angle, slide it forward so that it comes out of the front of the slide, press down, use your index finger and slide it back until it locks into place. Once that is complete, I'm using my thumb now to hold the barrel into the slide, and you will notice that there is a slight curve inside the barrel. That is where the recoil spring assembly will sit. So with holding the barrel and using your thumb and applying just slight amount of pressure to hold it into place, you will then take your recoil spring and insert it into the front of the barrel where the front of the recoil spring sits and align it with the barrel. Your index finger will now go to the front. Your thumb will apply slight pressure to the back of the recoil spring assembly, and you will press down until the spring sits inside the small groove. And you'll know because you can apply a little bit of pressure on the back of the recoil spring assembly to make sure it's properly seated. And note, when you look at the gun from the front, the barrel and the recoil spring are aligned with each other. Now the slide has been completely reassembled. With this, again, holding the slide with your index finger on one side and thumb on the other, you will hold it, grab your receiver as such with your other hand. You will then align these 2 notches, which are here and here, with the alignment of the slide. You can also identify this from the rear of the slide. There are 2 notches located here above my thumb and here above this thumb here. Once you align this slide onto the weapon, slide back, it will make a clicking sound, and you will pull the slide all the way back until you can't pull it back anymore, and then let it go. Once you have done that, the trigger will now reset. You can make sure that the gun is functioning properly by pulling back again, letting it go, and pulling the trigger in a safe direction, knowing that this weapon has now been successfully field stripped, oiled, and reassembled. If you wish to insert the magazine, you can do so by taking the magazine, grabbing it from the bottom, and inserting it into the firearm, making sure that the numbers on the back of the magazine are facing you or towards the rear of the weapon. It will positively click once you insert it all the way in. That is how you field strip, oil, and reassemble a Glock pistol. Thank you for watching.